Trendy co-parenting, the trap of the popular approach. The universe of post-divorce relations is increasingly complicated. The separation often goes hand in hand with numerous issues, ranging from bitter feelings to the necessity of sustaining perfect ties with your ex. Simultaneously, as a parent, you should align this new normal to not harm your children and, what is no less essential, yourself. Divorce is challenging and emotional, but managing it has significant benefits. Approaching the process calmly and cooperatively can lead to a faster, less costly, and less stressful outcome for both parties, especially if children are involved. Maintaining respect and communication can also help to preserve meaningful relationships and avoid unnecessary conflict, setting the stage for a positive post-divorce future. Carl Knickerbocker introduces the term trendy co-parenting as a concentration of tranquil and painless post-divorce parenting interactions, appearing picture-perfect, yet having little in common with reality or an adequate post-separation scenario. Trendy co-parenting is a strategy that aspires to reach perfection throughout disruptive obligations. The principle of the solution is a duty to cooperate and communicate, regardless of discomfort, disrespect, or misunderstanding between former partners. Social media instead portrays this strategy as the best asset of post-divorce parenting. However, the nature of the model is programmed to be ineffective because it doesn't benefit parents or their kids. Trendy co-parenting does not equal a post-divorce parenting strategy. Yet, it is a driving force of the entire sector. In a world where separation and co-parenting are consistently twisted from an Instagram trend based on the necessity of reaching a compromise, where is the middle ground for a parent who does not aspire to sit the bench or be the only adult in the house? Staying together as a team is an illusion. It's a great chance that while you search for a trade-off, your ex-spouse will obtain new tools for mind games. Ideal versus real parenting strategy. Perfect co-parenting is impossible for many reasons. Yet, when a high-conflict personality, HCP, steps on stage, the snare becomes even sharper. People with high-conflict personalities tend to have a pattern of behavior characterized by blaming, criticizing, and attacking others. They often struggle with self-awareness and may resist any attempts at conflict resolution. A myriad of have-tos drive trendy co-parenting, yet one parent struggles more than the other. HCPs are torturers. They neglect your well-being, pull strings, and force you to demonstrate a happy face in front of everyone. Unfortunately, if engagement in this perfect parenting mode occurs, HCPs have tremendous power over another emotional and judicial parent casualty. So how can you avoid this issue, preserve mental health, and remain happy in the process, along with your kids?
Carl Knickerbocker's recipe is parallel parenting. Within this paradigm, ex-spouses are separated. More crucially, they establish different environments with unique routines and rules for their children. Since the concept excludes the possibility of interconnectedness, you can be sure that there is no wardrobe for abuse or shelf for mental decline triggers. Whereas prejudice towards parallel parenting occurs, the approach concerns respect and non-intrusion in the other parent's boundaries. Trendy co-parents rarely miss the boat to turn kids into buffers and use them to affect their ex. In reality, children need you, your attention, love, time, and effort. The coordinated model provides you with these essential conditions. In contrast, the opposite strategy deprives you of the strength your kids need the most. Parallel parenting allows children to be just children. It is a great pathway to build connection, love, care, teach, and learn. Unlike trendy co-parenting imposed by the media, parallel parenting represents an adequate real-life interaction pattern for separated adults who aim to attain effective and balanced care for joint children. People with high conflict personalities frequently clash with the idea of parallel parenting. This mode disrupts their idea of post-divorce parenting, which inevitably includes violation of your frontiers and respect for your position. As we can see, by choosing between trendy and parallel mode, you select between the mess and harmony of cooperation. The fundamentals of parallel parenting. Knickerbocker indicates several cornerstones that help to apply parallel parenting effectively. Successful realization of the approach is only possible with responsible conduct, self-reliance, and ultimate determination. Indeed, immediately incorporating these principles is difficult, especially when experiencing separation from an HCP. A troublesome ex will attempt to make you accountable for their problem, like a heavy burden. However, with no exceptions, you are responsible for yourself on this platform. An HCP aims to undermine different dimensions of another person's life. Things like mental disorders might fuel such an intention. Admitting the problem's existence doesn't make you a villain. You can start driving the boat independently by recognizing that there is no fault in your ex's difficulties. Although following this guideline isn't a piece of cake, accepting the idea of bare essentials provided for a kid by another parent is crucial. Indisputably, serious misconduct requires immediate attention. However, intervening is unnecessary if a child obtains the fundamental care and conditions. Being a good parent remains the only responsibility worth your efforts. Wasting time to control your ex is full of risks. Whatever good intentions, indifference from one parent will produce an adverse reaction from an ex.
You have no control over what the HCP does, because not even the HCP has full control of or access to those mental capacities that matter to make a difference. He is disordered, period. The unwavering compliance with established limits and principles is the final essence of parallel parenting. Once determined and introduced, the choices and parenting dynamics do not require justification from your ex. The likelihood of entrapment is high, yet it constitutes a solid reason to change the rules. For instance, co-parents should not use bargaining. If you've made a decision, you must stick to it. Regardless of the claimed goal, an HCP will attempt to disrupt your freedom and inner peace, no matter the cost. Bargaining and conflicts can lead to negative outcomes, such as resentment, distrust, and compromise of one's values. It can also perpetuate power imbalances and prevent a mutually beneficial resolution. Collaborative problem-solving and active listening are more effective conflict resolution strategies. Pathways to deal with HCPs and follow the parallel parenting model. Dealing with high-conflict personalities can be difficult because they tend to engage in extreme and often irrational behaviors, lack empathy, and have a strong need to control and dominate others. They may also resist feedback and refuse to take responsibility for their actions. However, there are some ways of dealing with HCPs. Elaborate on the perspective. As an autonomous parent, you can imagine and implement proper parenting without external interference. Envision how you can settle daily routines, what aspects of children's lives to prioritize, and ensure that the desired objectives correlate with your values. Crucially, remember that while an HCP does not have the power to question or modify your parenting, children still observe how you react to intervention. Sustaining energy for kids, instead of giving it to your ex, represents the best solution. Carl Knickerbocker highlights that envisioning your parallel parenting scenario is about aspiring to beneficial objectives instead of eradicating patterns that pull you down. Avoid conflicts and awkwardness by respecting boundaries, celebrating separately, and teaching kids to be responsible for their belongings. Parallel parenting rules enhance autonomy and help you and your kids be more disciplined, responsible, and concise. Communication must be precise. Parallel parenting allows the minimization of face-to-face interaction with your ex. In this regard, determining communication channels and themes for discussion is a must after the divorce. The main goal of written interaction, one of the most appropriate solutions, is eliminating the terms that can force conflict between sides. Being responsive to provocations is a path back to abusive behavior. Being determined and neutral is the most potent protection mechanism. Be the best version of yourself and manifest integrity. A good parent should realize that transparency and truth are essential. HCPs often tend to manipulate facts and twist the narrative. Parallel parenting provides an opportunity to sharply reduce these narratives and become an example for children by being objective and honest. Realize that you are not guilty of an HCP's problems. Knickerbocker emphasizes the frequently aggressive position of HCPs. Despite the inclination to offend their ex-partner, their behavior is not driven solely by you. The core of their demeanor lies within inner mental disruptions. Usually, it is not familiar with the harm you cause. Why do people still dislike parallel parenting? The multi-diverse framework of trendy co-parenting hampers the mass adoption of other parenting models. The parties that consistently benefit from the perfect parenting promotion possess the authority to reshape public perception of less profitable solutions. The prevalence of non-reliable yet popular interpretations of parallel parenting does not contribute to its attractiveness.
There is a ghost story about parallel parenting that comes hand in hand with abuse, escalated criticism, and neglect of children. In reality, the mechanism helps eradicate these adverse associations for good and provides excellent value. While there is nothing joyful about divorce, as surprising as it sounds, parallel parenting has many advantages. Being engaged in two completely separate environments, kids learn and interact with different things. Carl Knickerbocker highlights the value of their experience diversification. Observing opposition, young individuals can develop better judgment, reveal and master new skills, and learn the specifics of critical perception of the world. As a result, their future social life and adjustment to different situations are less challenging. When the homes are different, they learn to respect the differences between differing environments. Kids can experience the true diversity of life, and it does not have to feel like a burden. In parallel parenting, children do not think of themselves as burden carriers. The likelihood of engagement in conflict situations is decreased, which positively affects development. They feel gratitude for well-aligned conditions, are emotionally balanced, and know there are no barriers to living the life they want. Recognizing harmful patterns and behaviors and protecting one's well-being is essential. The changes in the post-divorce period refer not only to parent separation. Introducing new parenting strategies affects step-parents no less than co-parents and children. Perks include the absolute separation of former spouses, the elimination of their devastating contact, and an opportunity to immerse in new relations without the intrusion of the past. Did you know young children can adapt to changes in their environment or circumstances in as little as 3 days, while it may take adults weeks or even months to adjust to the same changes? Expectations you might have regarding parallel parenting. The advantages of parallel parenting are numerous. However, there are some points you should keep in mind while implementing this strategy. Among them are: 1. Give your children the means to adapt. 2. Consider your children's reactions to parallel parenting. 3. The experience of step-parents in the parallel parenting model. Under the usual trendy co-parenting strategy, there's a belief that your environment and that of your ex should be identical. The children spend time in 2 homes, so both spaces have to be the same, including the toothpaste they use, their toys, the cups they drink from, and the bed they sleep in. Kids adapt quickly due to their brain's neuroplasticity, which allows them to learn and process new information more rapidly than adults. The thing is, kids may benefit from living in moderately dynamic environments. This experience teaches them to adapt quickly, making them more resilient. Moving to a new home or school can expose children to new experiences, opportunities, and friendships. It can also help them develop resilience, adaptability, and coping skills. Changes in routine or structure can encourage children to think creatively and problem solve. Learning new skills, hobbies, or interests can boost children's self-esteem and confidence. Additionally, changes in family dynamics, such as the separation of parents, can teach children about empathy, communication, and cooperation. Adaptability is a great skill that makes stressful situations less traumatizing for children. How do kids react to parallel parenting? Well, most love it. Parallel parenting minimizes conflicts, one of the primary sources of stress. The sense of competition reduces. Parents don't use kids to get inside information about each other. Kids also don't feel they have to take sides. In addition, children don't feel guilty when switching places. They know they can go to either of their parents, have fun, and build connections. They don't have to choose and pick favorites. It's also essential to remember how parallel parenting influences new partners. They are the people that spend a significant amount of time with your kids. They too build meaningful connections with them. Just like kids, the new partners love parallel parenting. The great thing about this strategy is that everyone's roles have precise definitions. No one tries to interfere or act out of place. When kids are at your home, you are in charge. Adopting a parallel parenting model makes it possible to incorporate the power of determination and live a life fueled by your values instead of your ex's expectations and whims. A parallel parent becomes a creator of one's unique paradigm of experiences. Most importantly, one gains a vital opportunity to redirect the inner strength to caring and raising children in the most healthy and balanced way possible. The strategy signifies a fixative stage of separation. Selecting this parenting mode, you decide that there is no place for toxicity and abuse in your life. Limited interaction with HCPs is crucial if you aspire to be the creator of the ecological development of the family. Parallel parenting will improve your life and make you strive for the best, achieving the peace of mind you deserve. Within this model, you no longer have to depend on your ex-partner and reject what is essential to you. By choosing rational independence, you can reveal new horizons exceptionally beneficial for you as an autonomous adult and your kid, who deserves a happy and cloudless childhood. Try this. Use the following recommendations to improve your performance in parallel parenting mode. Communicate with your children more often. Be curious about what they like and dislike about home environments or your interactions.
Don't hesitate to learn from other divorced parents' experiences. Understanding that you are not alone can improve your attitude toward the situation. Establish boundaries in different situations. Such practice will help you to deal with high-conflict personalities more effectively.